As of this video, we are about a week into the Saints training camp, which means we are a week into the quarterback competition between Shuck, Rattler, and Jay Kaner, apparently. And as of right now, all signs are sort of pointing to Spencer Rattler being the guy. It seems like he is the most ready right now. And, of course, things could change throughout preseason, but as of right now, it looks like Spencer Rattler is winning that race. So I decided for this video, we are going to take a look at Spencer Rattler's best plays from his rookie campaign, some of his best pass completions, some of his best work. Now, it wasn't the best rookie campaign overall, but you really have to look at it through a wide lens because, man, the guys that he was playing with on the field at times were just, uh, you know, were guys that probably aren't even going to be on NFL teams this upcoming season. So, and not to mention, he was a rookie, right? Drafted in the later rounds and probably was not even ready to play or should not even have been on the field, but he was, right? He did get on the field and he got that experience, and that is obviously playing a huge factor into the current quarterback competition that he is in. So, like I said, he did have some flashes, and that's kind of what I want to go over today in this video. All right, so let's go through them. So first one I want to go to here is we're going to hit Bub Means on this little out route at the top of the screen. And why do I like this? Well, it shows a couple of things: good timing and good anticipation and good throwing under pressure from Spencer Rattler. He's going to deliver this thing with a defender right in his face, right? So we're going to take a nice 5-step drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to take one hitch. Again, we have a defender coming right at us right here. And watch when Rattler releases this thing. So he is throwing this ball right now. Receiver not even out of his break yet, right? We call this throwing with anticipation. Ball is out. Look where it's placed. Outside where the receiver can get it. And again, Rattler takes a huge shot really from both sides, from the front and from the back. But we get the ball out on time. Again, good timing, anticipation, ball location, and under pressure. Spencer Rattler, good stuff. Alrighty, next one here, we're going to hit this seam ball to Juwan Johnson, who is lined up on the line of scrimmage. Just going to bend this thing in here. The Buccaneers are going to try to, they're going to really rotate to really 3 high. We're going to see this guy deep, and 27 fall deep as well. So it is the correct read, but what I like here from Rattler is he holds this safety with his eyes going this way, right? And then at the last second, once again, with pressure in his face, he hits the same ball to Juwan Johnson. So let's see here. Check it out. Takes the snap. Look at his eyes. He's looking left. He's looking left. He's looking left. He knows where he's going with this thing the entire time, right? Top of his drop. Boom. Now his eyes get to Juwan Johnson. And once again, we release this thing. Really good throw under pressure. I mean, he is getting hit as soon as he releases it. And boom, right in the pocket for Juwan Johnson. I like how he squeezes this as well, right? He puts it to where only Juwan Johnson can catch it, right? It's in front of this defender, but behind this defender right here. And again, Juwan Johnson makes a really good catch on the seam ball from Spencer Rattler. And I mean, again, I mentioned it already, but, doing this with pressure right in your face, even better. All right, next one down here to the bottom, we have press coverage. And, this one may not seem like much, but these are the types of throws that you just have to make in the NFL. So again, press coverage, you're going to run just a little stopping route here, 5-6 yards down the field. And again, anticipation throwing from Spencer Rattler, what you like to see. And this is tough, man, especially against press coverage, right? It's a little different when you have off coverage and you have some cushion to fit this thing in there or room for error. But when a guy's pressed up like this, you have got to let this thing go with anticipation, or it could result in an interception, right? So let's press play. Let's see where he lets this thing go, right? He's letting it go right now, winding up to throw it. Receiver not even to the top of his stem yet, right? Ball's already in the air. Break on it. Catch, right? Good ball placement. I like the way he places it away, right, towards the sideline, because usually these defenders are playing this thing inside out. But again, versus press coverage, you have got to throw this thing with anticipation like Rattler does, or it could result in an interception pretty easily, especially against a good DB like the Broncos have. This rep here against the Los Angeles Chargers is going to be on a play action pass to Chris Olave. Okay, let it play out so we can watch it. And sometimes the best passes you make are the ones that you don't even attempt, right? In this case, we have Olave coming across the field, and Rattler is looking to throw this right here. He's winding up. Like, he winded up, but he notices this safety ready to nail down on it and possibly intercept this ball or hit Chris Olave, hard, right? But more than likely, he's going to nail down on this thing and intercept it. So he kind of double clutches it, right? But he still wants to throw it because it's still open. So he waits just a tick later, right? Waits a tick later just for Olave to gain a little bit more ground to make sure he can get in front of this DB. And he also puts the ball a little more out in front here, right? Out in the front here where Chris Olave has to sort of run back to it, right, and beat the DB there. If he would have just thrown this thing and, sort of thrown it out here, possible interception. But because he waited a tick later for Chris Olave to gain a little bit more ground and he puts this thing sort of short to where Olave has to run back underneath it, we end up getting a completion. So that's a really nice shot from Spencer Rattler, just waiting there and noticing, recognizing that safety that could have possibly made a play on the ball, and then putting the ball where Chris Olave only could run back to it and make a play on it. All right, next one here against the Commanders, and this is the game where we really saw a lot of flash from Rattler. He brought him back in the second half and actually almost beat the Washington Commanders. Now, this play here, the Saints are going to draw up really a two high beater. So you're going to get a deep corner and a deep post, right? You're going to get the deep corner here and the post here, and in theory this is going to take him here so we can hit this middle of the field open coverage here. And really this safety doesn't do a good job of really playing his responsibility to this guy, and so that's why this thing ends up being really close to being an interception or not a good play, right? Because this safety is really supposed to take this guy, and this guy ends up wide open. But Rattler, he sees the coverage, right, and it's the correct read against the coverage. It's just more so of this defensive back making not doing a very good job, but still almost ended up coming up, with a play on the ball. But anyways, let's get back to the play. So Rattler, this is going to be a 7-step drop from under center, which is so rare, man. You're only going to see the QBX and the Shanahans of the world do this. So 7-step drop from center. We have to hitch up out of the pressure. Pressure is already in our face because we had to step up, right? And again, we know what we have against the coverage. You can see Rattler take a peek that way. Check it out. See, he's looking left. He's like, okay, we got too deep. I'm going to uncork this thing. He made up his mind right now. No matter what, he's letting this thing go. And he does, right, with pressure in his face. And it drops it in the bucket to Scantling, right? Now, again, is this, uh, it's a good throw, right? Decision, it's the correct decision against the coverage, but the way that number 20 here sort of blows his responsibility made this closer than it really should have been. And, really with, a cleaner pocket, he probably would have looked over and seen this safety with his hips flipped this way, not thrown this, but came back and thrown this deep corner because it was probably a touchdown. But either way, it's still a very, very nice throw from Spencer Rattler. Next one here, and this is an absolute missile from Spencer Rattler in his face, hitting the tight end over the middle and really letting this thing go between two defenders and really before the tight end was even looking for it, right? So Washington going to bring pressure. Of course, that means that the Saints are initially going to get beat by the pressure, and he has, 1, 2, 3 guys, and look where he lets this thing go. He is throwing this thing right now to the tight end, who is really sandwiched between two defenders. Okay, ball is let go. Tight end recognizes it, and he zips that thing in there perfectly. I mean, you literally cannot throw a more picture perfect pass than this right here. I mean, guy literally draped all over him, lets it go, right there, right in the bucket between two defenders. I mean, that is an absolute missile from Spencer Rattler. One of my favorite throws that he's made in his career so far. All right, next one here coming against the Green Bay Packers. And, this one, I'm sure you all remember this play here. Listen, as far as throws, fantastic throw and placement over the defender where it needs to be. Decision wise, you could debate, is this a good decision, throwing in the middle here? But hey, this is a fantastic throw from Spencer Rattler. I mean, he puts it over the defender, pressure again closing in on him. I mean, listen, the Saints were desperate in this game, right? Nothing was going their way. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind the chance. And if you are going to take the chance here with this throw with, this congested middle, I like that it's to the tight end, big body, and I like that you throw it high. Again, ball placement is super important here, right? If you throw it high, these two can't get it, and this guy's just far enough back to where he can't get to it, right? Unless this thing just totally sails and he catches an interception. But this right here, just, I mean, a fantastic ball placement from Spencer Rattler in a game where the Saints really couldn't get anything going offensively. But again, just uh, decision a little shaky, but the ball placement really makes up for it in the accuracy, throwing it high to your tight end to go up and get it and snag it and come down with it. So overall, good job from Spencer Rattler. I don't mind taking the risk at all in a game like this, especially when the Saints had nothing to lose at this point. Next one here, just a personal favorite of mine, the jump pass against the Packers. Not the cleanest operation here, but again, desperate game, desperate measures. Going to hit Pettis here on the little clear out. Number 17, stepping up, jump pass, boom, zips it in there. Again, not the cleanest operation in the world, but just a fun pass to watch, and I had to throw it in here. Next rep here against the Las Vegas Raiders. Saints are just going to run a little double, sort of like bench concept, and we're going to hit Kevin Austin, and this throw by Spencer Rattler, again, phenomenal. Once again, pressure in his face, if you haven't noticed that theme by now. And we're at the far hash, right, which makes this a tougher throw. And he just puts this thing on a rope despite the pressure in his face, despite being hit, and it is accurate, which is what we love to see, right? So once we see that this receiver can cross this DB's face, we're safe to throw it. Again, pressure in our face. We let that thing rip again from the far hash, and watch where he puts this thing. Boom, on the money where he can run with it and get a couple of extra yards. Can't throw a better ball than this. Again, with the pressure in your face, far hash, good accuracy, timing, everything you love to see in a proper quarterback play, right? Oof, missile on the money, keeps running with it. Next one here, I love this one, okay? Raiders, pre-snap, they're going to be in a one-high defense, but at the snap, they're going to rotate into just your traditional cover two, right? So we're going to have this guy rotate out. We're going to have our flat defender here. And basically what Spencer Rattler is reading is a high-low read down here to the bottom of the screen. So we're going to have the check down here. And then we're going to have this sort of deep corner here from, I believe it's Pettis. Okay. And what I love about this is, number one, recognition, right? We recognize that the defense changed coverage pre-snap. We see that safety rotating over. So now we know we have a cover two look. Well, okay, let's exploit it. Let's throw a play. Let's throw a concept here that beats cover two. Watch, so 25 here, right? What is his responsibility? He's a cloud flat defender. He is going to carry anything deep until he has a threat underneath. So really he can sink until he is threatened underneath in the flat, right? So he can sink with Pettis, but he sees this flat sort of, coming out there, this check down. So he has to stay lower. So he has to stay lower than he would like, right? And watch what Spencer Rattler does to sort of manipulate him to make sure he has a wide enough, passing lane to get this ball under to Pettis. Watch this pump fake to the flat. Watch Rattler right there. See, he pump fakes the flat. That gets 25 to bite down right here on number 23, Allaire, right? And in turn, that just opens up this passing lane to Pettis where you have a wide open gap to make this throw. So high level stuff here from Spencer Rattler. Again, recognizing the safety, rotate over. They're rotating to cover two. We're going to pump fake this cloud defender right here so that he don't get in the way of this ball to Pettis. He bites on it, and then we give a good ball to Pettis, and he makes the catch, and that's all she wrote for that one. Really good play, really good high-level stuff from Spencer Rattler there. Now we're on to the final game of the season, I believe, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one we have a little play action pass to the tight end to Juwan Johnson, and again, the ball placement here, beautiful, right, on the crossing route here. Watch him layer this throw over this defender. Boof, right out of his reach. Again, we know we're throwing to a big target in Juwan Johnson. Put it a little higher. He can go up and get him, right? And I mean, the defender here made a Superman effort, literally. I mean, he's in the air right now. But again, good ball placement. I love how he's able to place this thing, not only away from the defender or too high for the defender, but he's also able to put it out in front of him where he can keep running with this thing and get some extra yards after the catch. So one more time here in its entirety, because this is a beauty here from Spencer Rattler on the play action. Phew. And then a little touchdown pass here for good measure. But that's going to be the end of the video. You know, Spencer Rattler, he did show a lot of flashes last year. He also had a lot of negative plays last year. And there were also a lot of plays not shown in this video that weren't completions that were on the money and it was either dropped or a penalty brought it back or something like that. But all in all, I think Spencer Rattler looks like he's going to be QB1 next year if unless something changes throughout preseason. And, you know, I think the potential is there, right? I think he does need pieces around him. The Saints, you know, are going into the season healthy, which is going to be, you know, a huge step, you know, in the right direction to what he was compared to what he was on the field with last year, right? Because totally beat up injuries and, you know, all the coaching changes and everything else last season. So I think, you know, we'll see a different Spencer Rattler on the field this season. Not saying he'll be this elite quarterback or whatever, but I do think we'll see a step up in his game. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.